Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Bowtie Chronicles, uh, episode 3, Polygyny. And this is your host, Askari William Abdul Wahid. Okay. And we're now moving into the topic. We're going to call this one episode 3B, and we're basically going to look at the we talked about the benefits of polygamy for what the reason for polygamy, okay, and the benefits of it, okay. We talked about the benefits as far as how it's supposed to benefit the female, okay. In situations of war or situations of dire straits, when you have a community that is under siege, like we do in the Black community, this is one of the times in which it's actually should be practiced. Unfortunately, it's already practiced, but because of our state of mind, we're just overlooking the fact that it is practiced, and we don't afford our females the kind of protection under the practice that she requires. In other words, I remember one time when I had talked to a sister when I used to give dawah and sell incense and oils up on 54th and El Cajon. A sister asked me about that, and I explained it to her, and she said, "You know what? You're right." I asked, I said, "Where's your man at?" And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Where's your man?" And she said, "Oh, you mean my baby's daddy?" I said, "Yeah, where is he at?" She said, I don't really know right now. I said, "Okay, all right, let's look at this situation." So, he's your baby, he's your man though. She said, "Yeah, we still kick it." I said, "Okay, how many times he come around?" He said, "Well, he come around when he want to." Okay, sister's on welfare. He comes around when he wants to. He has no responsibility other than part-time dad to the child, or no real, and every now and then he may want to come by. He may sit however long, a day, 2 days, whatever, take a meal, kick back, do what adults do, and then he's gone again. Okay, he has no real responsibility. So women have to hold themselves to a higher standard, and they think that, they look at it in a sense where, he my man. You're not married to him. He has no obligations to you. It would be better for the sister if she had a husband that was actually handling his business, had a job, and was taking on the responsibility of being a father for her child and paying her bills. And he came over and had the same rights and duties that she's giving this brother right here that has no responsibility whatsoever. He's not even taking responsibility of himself. So how could he take on the responsibility of a family? So these are the kind of things that polygyny actually addresses. It addresses these issues that we got that are running rampant inside the Black community, because now this is going on. The practice itself, as far as polygyny is concerned, it's an ancient practice. Okay, but we've been practicing it, incorrectly for how many years? Because we got how many sisters that have been on AFDC and had a man that wasn't really her man, that had, she's like you got, back in the days, you had what was called your main chick or your main squeeze, and then you had so many other y'all call them side chicks now, you know what I'm saying, or side pieces, whatever that's new terminology. But back then she was still your girl, but she wasn't your main girl. Okay, so now you got all this going on, where as far as none of those females that are considered sides or whatever, they know they don't have the kind of response. You don't have no responsibility to them. So with that being said, okay, it would be rightfully in the female's benefit to become a second or third wife. Why? Because she's gonna receive the benefits that she would receive if she was his wife. Okay, unlike the treatment that she receives at the moment which is she's being treated like a piece of meat. Brother come through, and he may come through only when uh, he needs to for himself, okay, not for the needs of others, which is incorrect, because the duty of the man, according to Islam, is that the brother should not leave the bed until his wife is pleased, okay, and vice versa, okay. Now, brother come through, he takes a meal, he don't drop no cash down, boom, and then he out. I mean, when you look at it, you know what I mean. It depends on where you're. What are the overwhelming factors that you consider to be important with your life? You know what I mean. As a female, you know, is stability and having a positive male role model there for your kid. Is that what's important, or just uh, keeping your bed warm a week out of a night out of the week, or um, let's say 5 days out of the month, okay, or sleeping around with every time Dick and Harry, okay. So these are the possibilities of what um, and then you have the situation where you're talking about why is it uh, the other benefit is that now you know where your man is, and you know who he's been with, okay, and so that you don't have outside uh, um, uh, uh, STDs creeping into your relationship, because this brother been over here, he been over here, he been over here. He don't have no ties, no real commitment to these females. So likewise, these females don't have no real commitment to him. So they could be sleeping around with 5 or 6 other guys, and they come back and drop something on him, and then he's going around to 4 or 5 other girls and dropping something on them. So these are the problems that you have when you have those kind of relationships. Where as far as if you had, if you're a co-wife and you're in a situation where you got you're just you and another wife, um, and that brother's moving between those 2 houses, at least you know where the brother is and you know what the brother's doing, okay. And so that if another situation was to arise or anything was to occur from that situation, you would know who would be at fault here, okay. So especially if the sisters had communication, you know what I mean. If not, then that's something totally different, you know what I mean. So those are some of the overwhelming benefits for polygyny. When you talk about polyandry is a practice that, like, we're practicing that right now in America, because you got women that are their commitment is to many men, and they're sleeping with many men, okay. So that's a form of polyandry, because they're answering to many men and they're receiving finances from many men. And polyandry is a practice. It's practiced in some places in Africa, and also some places in I think Eastern Asia, far areas in Eastern Asia, where a woman may have 2 or 3 husbands, okay, or more, okay, and they all look at the kids as all theirs. You know what I mean? No DNA test to tell which one is which and so forth, but they all, you know what I'm saying? Don't ask me how that go down, you know what I'm saying? But just the vice that's in that right there alone, because the woman is a vessel, okay? And if she has a lot of foreign entities coming into her, you know what I mean? If the vessel is once the vessel becomes contaminated, then hey, you know what I mean? I mean, it's then now you got 3 brothers that gets contaminated, and then spread that contamination to maybe their other wives, if they, because now you got to look at the reality that maybe these brothers also have other wives. When I did observation or did research into polyandry, the case that I looked at was in Asia, where this woman, she had 3 husbands, and also 2 of the husbands had other wives. You know what I mean? So for me, that's just like, how could that even be? You know what I mean? But hey, what you think is strange for you may not be strange for other people. So, that's just, and so when you talk about polygyny is a cleaner um, practice, for the simple fact that who your spouse is with, and once you know who that person is, you're able to know that that person is upright, okay, or so forth. Now your husband is in between these two houses. All right. If the brother come up missing, sister's gonna be talking. So, so now, you know what I mean, and then you got rules in which govern people's practices. You know what I mean, and so forth like that right there. So, these things are important to have. If you don't have communication, you don't have stability in any relationship or any type of ground rules, then what's going to happen is that people are going to run them up. You know what I'm saying? And what I would say for brothers, once again, that are talking about practicing polygyny, brother, don't step into an area that you don't know nothing about. And I would go further as to say, in relation to polygyny, okay, for brothers that are Muslim, that are planning on practicing it, or non-Muslims, because we got a lot of African Americans now that are actually practicing. I'm not talking about swingers. I'm talking about actual making commitment to marry women and actually practicing polygyny. Okay, don't go into polygyny with the intention to marry and then divorce. You're not practicing polygyny. Okay. Also, when you go into polygyny, you must evaluate and observe, how is this going to impact your first situation? Because your first situation is an investment, okay? And if you don't look at your marriage as an investment, and you've been with your wife for 15 years or 20 years, and then you're going to go ahead and blow the ship up to get with this, whatever you choose to get with. I'm not going to go into brothers' preferences and type of stuff that brothers be doing, because you don't see it all if you've been observing. So my whole thing is that you need to be mindful of the things that you bring to your group, okay, or to your family, all right, and make sure that the kind of people you bring hold the same values as if you're practicing Muslim, make sure that the person is practicing those values and understand, so that they don't bring any type of ill behavior, or as I heard a brother said, ill spirit to your community or to your family, because your family is a community overall. Okay, so this would benefit the African American community just by having rules, because right now people in relationship, they don't have no rules. They just doing whatever they want to do. Okay, and brothers cheating on their wives, cheating on their 2 and 3 side chicks. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, come on, man. I mean, if you're any kind of man, a man handles his responsibility, and a man don't have to go around and be out like that. You know what I mean? Now, if you out, I don't even see how brothers, what I'm saying, don't even get me started. I'm not going to even approach a female if I'm not talking about getting married. What's the use of me approaching a female about what? What can she give me that my wives can't give me? You know what I mean? So you have to really be looking at those realities. Now, sometimes brother may have a wife that is inconsiderate, or she may be disobedient, and I've heard in situations where brothers married other women to check her and to get his situation stable, because I've seen situations where sisters stopped cooking for a brother, and the brother got another wife, and the other wife started cooking, so then the other sister got back in line. I've seen that happen. I ain't had to do that. I'm just saying those things happen. certain parts of the world that works. You know what I mean? Other situations where brothers got a second wife or a third wife, and immediately all the sisters start working together. Boom. Normally, in certain countries, sisters just don't click like that. You know what I mean? And it depends. Our situation is a lot different in America because I think that when we become Muslim, we have more understanding than certain areas. Certain parts of Africa, sisters got understanding and they can work together. It depends on where they are from. If they're from particular Arab tribes, they can't function properly. That's just my observation. Okay. And Arab men are like very, very reluctant to take a second wife, especially if his first wife is from his tribe or Arab or something like that. So it depends, you know what I mean? You need to be mindful of what you're getting into and how it could affect your overall investment. If your overall investment is in jeopardy, you need to think twice. Okay? And you need to know the people that you're dealing with in your circle as far as your family is concerned. Okay? And with that being said, I'm going to leave there and I'm going to move the topic tomorrow to a different area concerning polygyny, and I would like some feedback if it's anything that someone else would like to add to the conversation. Please do share so that we can we try to cover that before I go ahead and record the next session, and also for people that are looking for sound advice. There's a nice website that I just came familiar with. It's called Outstanding Relationship, Personal Relationships, OPR. Okay, and it's a brother practicing polygyny with his wives, and they give coaching for sisters. And also, brother gives coaching for brothers. It's I remarkable. You know what I mean? Because a lot of sisters go through a lot of stress, and brothers go through stress because they're dealing with the emotions of both sisters. Okay, so to have other people to talk to, that would that's a blessing. What you don't need to do is you don't need to talk to people that are not practicing polygyny. Why? Because they always think that they're going to do you some benefit, as the brother and his wife said. They think that they're going to do you some benefit by helping you get about that situation, when in reality, they don't know that the situation may be a blessing to you or what Allah has in store for you in that situation. So, and for some people, they find the blessing in the situation, but the simple fact that some relationships, this is from my experience, is that when you're in a relationship with your wife for a long period of time, or your husband, you just need some air. And by needing air, I don't mean that you need to go to the club and throw down, because I don't do that type of stuff. But you do need to get away so you can have a chance to renew your that first desire that you have for your spouse. But you're always under each other and nagging and stuff like that. It doesn't allow that recharge to take place. And so when I do get a chance to get away and get away from one wife and then go back to the other wife, when I come back, it's like, boom, I'm like, oh, where you at, sugar? You know what I'm saying? So it's a recharge there. And that recharge is what makes the fire stay in a relationship. Because some people stay up under a person for so long to the point where they're just surviving or they're just nagging. You know what I mean? And they never have a chance to recharge. And that's just from my observation as far as with my relationships with my wives. You know what I'm saying? And Allah Musta'an, everyone has a different experience. And I'm going to leave it at that. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.